Section 3.3 is titled Statements with Multiple Quantifiers. In this section, we are going to have statements with universals and existential quantifiers. Here's a quick outline of what we're going to do in this section. We're going to have a small introduction, then we're going to talk about statements with multiple quantifiers. In the previous two sections, we started dealing with sentences in the form, "No cat can bark," or "Every human is mortal." Now carefully read the sentence, "Everybody loves somebody." In that last sentence, if you read it carefully, you'll notice that everybody refers to a universal, whereas somebody refers to a specific person. So we have an example of a universal and existential in the same sentence. Now, the order does matter. So there are times when you're going to have the universal first and the existential after. And there are times when you're going to have the existential first and the universal after. And each one of those will have a different meaning in real life. Each one of those has to be proven or disproven in a specific way. How to interpret statements with two quantifiers. For example, if we begin with the statements of the form, "For all x in the domain, there exists a y in the domain such that the predicate p of xy is true." Here, the challenge is to allow somebody to pick whatever element x they wish, because that was first, and your job is to find a corresponding y that works. In other terms, your job is to find the y so that the predicate pxy will be true. Now, how about if the order was opposite? What if you had the existential first and then the universal? What's the job here? Here, your job is to find an x ahead of time that will work no matter what y is given to you. So x has to be chosen first, and you don't know what y is going to be. Somebody's going to hand you a y, and your x should work no matter what the challenge is. For example, the statement, "For all non-zero x, there is a real number y such that x times y is equal to 1. What am I supposed to be doing here? Well, somebody is going to choose an x to be a non-zero real number, and you tell me your x. So let's say your x was 5. What is my job? My job is to find the y so that x times y will become 1. And it's very easy for me. All I have to do is pick 1/5. So again, if you choose to give me a different x, then my y could be changed accordingly. So my y depends on your x. So my goal is to always find the y so that when I multiply it with your x, our answer is going to be 1. Now, what about the other kind of existential? For example, this one right here. There exists an x in the real world such that for any real number y, x times y is going to be equal to 0. What is the challenge here? The challenge here is for me to find the x so that no matter what you hand to me, my x multiplied with your y will be at the end equal to 0. So in this case, my job is to find the x first. So I have to kind of think carefully about the x. I have to figure out what x needs to be chosen so that no matter what y you give me, x times y will be 0. And in this case, I'm going to pick 0. And I'm going to keep it kind of a private and secret so that when you give me 1, x times y will be 0. If you give me a 3, the x times y will be 0. If you give me the y to be 5, x times y will be 0 no matter what. So you can see my x works all the time. Let's go ahead and practice how to rewrite some statements with multiple quantifiers. So we have two examples over here. The first one says everybody loves somebody. The second one says somebody loves everybody. The trick is to kind of watch and read the sentences carefully. The first one says everybody loves somebody. So everybody refers to a universal, whereas somebody refers to an existential. So the order is going to have to be universal is going to show up first in my rewritten form, and the existential is going to be second. And if you look carefully, there's the solution. For all x, there exists a y such that x loves y. The second example, we have somebody first, so that's an existential, and then we have everybody following it. So this example has a universal second and existential first. So therefore, when I rewrite it, the existential is going to be visible at the very start of the sentence, and the universal is going to come afterwards. And we can verify that by looking at the solution here. So the solution is going to be, there's a person X such that for every person Y, X loves Y.